Hello, my name is Jumila Arboleda, and this is From Learning to Practice, my personal pedagogical experience with a second languages. And now, the purpose of this podcast is to share my own experience with the approach in English. And alright there, learning English. Ideally, I want to be very honest in showing all the economical, social, and academic barriers faced by the language student who was formally educated without knowledge of the languages. Um, with many prejudices about the learning English. Okay, and now growing up in environment where a second language is not seen as an educational priority, but a use another requirement is a problem that is a pace of time for a student and a student, to a student, sorry, throughout their student education. And this changes the meanings of the individual from the perspectives that a second language is not necessary for the personal and professional development, and with a least to a lot of attention to learning. Okay, and from my personal experience as a student, and this was a task that instilled in my throughout my primary and secondary education, whether by a friend, in a personal in the community, or even my own excuses to justify the last attention. And I had in English learning space, um, add to this the teacher with a thought this art of knowledge were very rise and in their teaching or personal practice, and which was every more motivating, sorry, because I reiterate, the English was not the only subject that in which we had students were inactive, um, but in some just the teachers create the motivation in use which led to attention to the topics at house. Okay, so in my teams, I put up various barriers to learning English, and with we which are regret today, but the best way is this regress. Mm, yeah, this a regress is to allow myself to learn. Sorry, it now science. I want to add had the opportunity and more. An anecdote from my high school days when I was learning on the second language. I involved as the teacher we has a funny nickname for for which I won't mention all of the respect for here. Her class working more militaristic has achieved may use repeat the verbs and words exactly um, has achieved pronounced pronounced them um, um, the funny this was the wise she spoke it. It manages the voices of the command giving and the order in the battalions. That's how she spoken. She may use respect every phrase. Now, after finishing my high school and degree, I chose to become a teacher. Within the field, um, and I focused on English. This decision was influenced by a classmate who wanted to start this career online. Um, Encourages me to me to do. Um, and so I wasn't sure, but I enrolled anyway. That's when the real educational change begins. Um, how could some so who has never liked English study English? That was my thoughts when I entered on my first semester um, of the degree programs. In this semester, I started by learning vocabulary, priority at the list of in print, sorry, the list of the verb, irregular and regular verbs. I will sit down in the afternoon and study them. The learning them with the whiteboard and the notebook that help me has a review tool. Okay. I also share it to internet for websites with the topics for A1 level in English, the learning grammatical sentences, roles, and basic topics that with a ground down in my notebook has a notice. All of this was in addition to the English class I attend and with a week at the university. My participation during the class of the session in my university English class, I encouraged knowledge that improved my skill. Okay, I also learning study methods and tools to will help my improve my English level and making it seems more and more interesting to me. Um, so there are many barriers appear um, or that we created during the process of learning the second languages, but we must always try to overcome the I continued with my course learning process. Science, we had a great responsibility in the personalization of this field. We are educating ourselves to educate others in the use and acquisition of these languages. And for example, the other barriers for me, I had faced during this learning process included the time. Um, I believe that a lot of time must be dedicated to learning at the second languages, um, to the perfect on self, and another barriers has been feeding a more effective the innovate study methodologies to achieve it, the very fluency in the speaking is my barrier more fast for me. On the other hand, the variance since then another emotion or feeling that the prevent the everyday they use the English has been at the very difficult barrier to overcome, but not impossible. Okay, amongst other, there is exposure to the languages, not having some to interactivity with the reduces the possibilities of the improving fluency, the pronunciation and the speaking skill in the second languages, science, and there is not no one that interacts. We have barely have had to the opportunity to practice. Recording of the professional skill, and in addition to the knowing, the using the second languages, we all community abilities, and the teacher must develop practical pedagogical skill for the teaching the second languages. Thus, during my university education, and I had been able to learning about the different methodologies of such a grammar translation, which, which, which is the most colloquial for teaching of the second languages. So I have also learning which is most is most the other methodologies, such as audio languages, and other methodology is direct and the immersion with a more focus on practical use of the languages and not just grammar. Okay, has the first mention of it. On the other hand, I have also learned about various innovative the technological tools for the teaching was objectives is to capture of the students' attention, in turn manages their learning. this is my opinion about my process in the learning English and my process of development